Alright guys, this is Matt from House of Geeks, and we are going to cover part 4, I believe, of the Xenos 1 book, covering the Dark Eldar, just to let you know what I think of him and how I've used them, if I've used them. So we're going to cover the fast attack and flyers today for this book. So we'll quickly skip forward to the Dark Eldar fast section. It's not so much a fast section, I suppose, because it's all mixed up. Okay, so right at the bottom, right at the middle of the section now, middle of the section is going to be the Clawed Fiends. So a Clawed Fiend is obviously a fast attack choice. It is, how many points? Clawed Fiend is 32 points and 1 to 6 for models. Wow. Okay. So a Clawed Fiend is movement 10, he's weapon skill 4 plus, ballistic skill 0 or dash, so he's not got a gun anyway, so I won't worry about it. Strength and toughness 5, 4 wounds, 5 attacks, leadership 4 with a 5 plus armor save. Each model attacks with bludgeoning fists. I'm pretty sure bludgeoning fists has got to be free, surely. Bludgeoning fists, yeah, 0 points. So bludgeoning fist is strength as user, AP -1, and it does 2 damage. Okay, and that is it. Faction keywords and just normal keywords. So they don't have any special abilities, no special rules. That is it basically. So this is where your Beastmaster comes into play. Now I spoke about the Beastmaster in the previous video, so if you've not watched that, go and watch it. It's right at the end of the video. He is an elite's choice, not a fast attack. So his special ability will allow Drukhari beasts within 6 inches of the fight phase to re-roll hits. So even though it's weapon skill 4 plus, you're able to re-roll it if you keep your Beastmaster close. Of course, you're going to keep your Beastmaster close. It's the whole reason of his, the whole reason of his living. It's the whole point of having him on the board. So the whole weapon skill 4 plus, don't worry about it, because you're going to be able to re-roll it. They don't have power from pain, so you won't be gaining anything from the power from pain chart, unfortunately. Their low leadership of 4. Again, you'll be using the Beastmaster's leadership, and like I said earlier on, if you can choose your combat drug now, which you can, take the leadership one to give your Beastmaster leadership 9. So that's it for Clawed Fiend. Chimera is, how many points is he or she or it? 10 points. Minimum squad is 2 to 12 models. So Chimera is movement 10, weapon skill 3 plus, strength and toughness 4, 1 wound, 3 attacks, leadership 4 with a 6 plus save. Each of these models is armed with claws and talons. That surely has got to be free. Yes, it is free. Claw and Talons is strength as user, AP 0, 1 damage. And it has an ability, otherworldly. Models in this unit have a 5 plus invulnerable save. So at least these have actually got a save. The only downside is they're only 1 wound. Toughness 4, 3 attacks. Weapon skill 3 plus at least, and you'll be able to re-roll that obviously because of the Beastmaster. So, again, you're probably better off. You might be better off taking a mix of beasts rather than just spam one. Chimera is cheap enough, obviously only being 10 points, and it has 3 attacks. So, it's not too bad. We'll quickly cover the final one, which is a Razorwing Flock. So the Razorwing Flock, points wise for him, is Razorwing Flock 7 points, and unit composition is 1 to 12. Now, just a quick update, I do believe this has been FAQ'd or errated already. I do believe Razorwing Flocks are now 14 points each, so they've doubled the points, and the unit composition is 3 to 12, not 1 to 12. So, Razorwing Flocks are movement 12, weapon skill 5 plus, ballistic skill dash, strength and toughness 2, 4 wounds, 8 attacks, leadership of 4 plus, and a 7 plus save. Claws and Talons is what they're armed with. We already know that's free. Claws and Talons is strength as user, AP 0 with a 1 damage. And that is it. No abilities, no nothing. Now, a lot of people were ranting and raving about the Razorwing Flocks and spamming them like mad. I myself couldn't see it because they're only strength and toughness 2. You know, why would you take something that's so rubbish? Weapon skill 5 plus. You know, why would you take something? Well, the reason why a lot of people went mad for them is because they were only 7 points each. And for those 7 points, you were getting a 4 wound creature with 8 attacks. So 10 of them, a unit of 10 was only 70 points. And for those 70 points, you actually got 40 wounds in that unit. So it was literally just a spam list, so you could just tar pit everything. It doesn't sound great, but when your opponent has 40 wounds to chew through, it's not particularly very good. Because obviously with the whole DC, you know, the multiple damage and things like that, it's going to be very frustrating for your opponent to chew through all those wounds as well. Now it's only weapon skill 5 plus, but if you've got a Beastmaster nearby, they're going to be re-rolling that. So, and with 8 attacks, you can bet your bottom dollar at least 4 will hit. I'm guessing out of that. Leadership 4, don't worry about that because you're using the Beastmaster's leadership, so his leadership is 9. Obviously now they're 14 points each, so they've literally points have doubled. Whether they're going to be a viable tournament list now, I know a lot of people were very, very, very unhappy about it, which is fair enough. You know, people have obviously been and spent money on this book, seeing what works, what doesn't work. They've been and bought the models, and Games Workshop have literally released an errata to change it, or an FAQ to change it, within a matter of, I want to say 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. So you would have thought that it would have taken a little bit longer. So obviously I think they've upset a lot of tournament Dark Eldar players. I think what's upset people the most, I'm not going to get into all the politics and stuff, but they've upset the Dark Eldar players the most is the fact that they've nerfed the Dark Eldar like horde spam for the Razorwing Flocks, because they were a cheap unit and you got a lot of them. They've nerfed them, but they've not touched the other forces that can do similar things. So you've got Chaos Demons of Zinch with the Brimstone Horrors. I think they're only 2 points each. Conscripts for Guard, I think they're very cheap as well. So you can just spam them. And obviously they've got lasguns. I don't know whether the Horrors for Zinch have got a range weapon, I don't know. Drones for Tau. You know, you can spam drones and stuff because they're quite cheap. They've got quite decent weapons as well. So I think that's what's annoyed Dark Eldar play the most. Not the fact that they've increased the points and they've changed the Razorwing Flocks. It's the fact that they have not done the others as well. If they're going to punish one, they should be punishing the others, not just singling one out. Anyway, that's it for politics, I promise. So Beastmasters and their beasties. I myself have never used the Beastmasters or the beasts. It's something that I do want to have. You know, I do want to own some models. I do want a couple of Beastmasters. I do want some of the Clawed Fiends, some of the Chimeras, and a few Razorwing Flocks, just to fill out the army. You know, just to show that I have it, that I own it. Game wise, I have got no idea. If somebody has used them or has had experience using them, please comment and let me know, so I know what to look out for. It's something like I said, it's something I've never used. I never even used it in the previous edition, or even the edition before that. I've never used beasts. So please comment, let other people know if you've had success, how you've used them, what combinations you've used, so we can all grow. share our knowledge and expand our horizon, should I say. So fast attack, we'll stick on the fast attack. We're on to Reavers now, the Reaver jet bikes. Okay, so Reavers. Reavers are now 30 points. Unit size is 3 to 12. 30 points is a lot. I think the Eldar took the same kind of hit, so I think their jet bikes were a lot more as well. So 30 points each, wow. Okay, so what did we get for those 30 points? A Reaver jet bike is movement 16, weapon skill 3 plus, ballistic skill 3 plus, strength 3, toughness 4, 2 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 7 with a 4 plus save. The arena champion, which is basically their sergeant, has an additional attack and additional leadership. So, each model is armed with a splinter pistol, which we know is free, and rides a Reaver jet bike, which you automatically get for free because you're paying the points for it. 30 points, I'd like to add. Armed with a splinter rifle, which is free, and blade vanes. Let's have a look here. Blade vanes are also free. So 30 points is just the flat what you get. So, blaster, we know what that does. Heat lance, we know. Splinter pistol, splinter rifle, agonizer, power sword. Blade vanes, we'll do the blade vanes. Blade vanes are strength 4, minus 1 AP, 1 damage. So that's for blade vanes. That'll be its. I assume that'll be for the attacks for the rider and stuff. War gear options. The arena champion may either take a power sword or agonizer. For every 3 models in the unit, 1 Ravager may replace its splinter rifle with a heat lance or a blaster. So that's every 3. So if you've got 9, you can have 3. If you've got 6, you can have 2. And if you've got 3, you can have 1. For every 3 models in the unit, 1 Reaver may take a Grav Talon or Cluster Caltrops. We'll cover them in a moment. The arena champion with an agonizer, it's quite a good choice really. You're only strength 3. It's quite a good option. They gain power from pain, so they're kitted out for combat, so you might as well give them an agonizer if he's kitted out for combat. Combat drugs, choose your combat drug. A good option for these in my eyes would probably be the +1 toughness, to make them toughness 5, you know, that'd be pretty cool. Toughness 5, 2 wounds. Okay, so cluster caltrops. How many points is a cluster caltrop? Okay, it's not there. Cluster caltrop. 5 points per. It's over here. Look, 5 points per model, and the Grav Talon is also 5 points per model. So, not too bad. And what do these do then? So, a cluster caltrop. Roll a d6 for each enemy unit within 1 inch of a model with a cluster caltrop that falls back. On a 4+, the unit suffers a mortal wound. So for every enemy unit, that's basically going to be the unit you're in combat with, unless you've multi-charged something. Grav Talon, roll a d6 for each time a model with a Grav Talon finishes its charge move within 1 inch of an enemy unit. On a 4+, it suffers a mortal wound. So it's reversed, so one's fall back, one's when you charge, takes a mortal wound. Matchless Swiftness. When this unit advances, add 8 to its move characteristic for that movement phase instead of rolling the dice. So if you want to advance, you're going to move an extra 8 inches. So, Reaver jet bikes. I have tried my damnedest to use Reaver jet bikes, but for the life of me, they're just pants. Mine just seem to die horrendously. I have taken a couple of squads of 3, I have taken a squad of 6, I've taken a squad of 9, and they just seem to get obliterated. Whether it's because people were terrified of them in a previous edition and now they can just rinse them, I don't know what it is. I kit mine out for combat because they're basically kitted out for combat. I don't bother giving them any blasters because I want to get them into combat as quickly as I can. With a movement of 16, they can get there pretty damn quick. Bearing in mind, most boards are 24 inch distance apart. So turn 1 you could be in combat. turn 2 you are definitely going to be in combat because you're able to reroll your charges from Power from Pain. But I just don't know what it is. Whether it's me, whether I'm using them wrong. I mean, I use mine to charge small isolated units. I use them to countercharge units that have deep struck in that aren't able to charge. I use them to charge vehicles that are heavily wounded or that have taken a few wounds. But mine just don't really seem to do that all that well. So if anyone has had a lot of success with them, let me know. Let me know how you've kitted them out, how it is you use them, if you have any prime targets to go for, if you for when you're charging. Because every time I seem to use them, for me it's a waste of points. Whether it's because they're too overpointed, 30 points does seem like quite a lot. A unit of 6 is obviously going to be 369, 180 points just for 6, and then you obviously pay for your caltrops, cluster caltrops or grav talon. Your agonizer is going to be 4 points. I'd definitely recommend an agonizer on your arena champion, to be honest. It's quite a good buy, that one, really. Cluster caltrops or grav talon. If I had to choose one, I would choose grav talon because you're so fast. You are going to be able to charge a lot better off, a lot quicker, rather than the other one where if your opponent falls back. Because if your opponent knows if he falls back, he could take mortal wounds. You might not bother. So it's just it's just a waste. So that is my opinion on Reavers, what I've used them and what I've seen. But like I say, if people have used them and they've been a great success, please comment and let me know and let others know what you think of them. So next we're going to go into Hellions. So Hellions are also one of these units that have improved slightly. Whether they're a lot better and I'm using them wrong, I don't know. So a Hellion... Whoa, I lost it. Hellion is 17 points and unit composition is 5 to 20. Wow, so you can really kit them out to maximum size. Hellions are movement 14. They are weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, strength and toughness 3, 1 wound, 2 attacks, leadership 7 and a 5+ save. Whew. The sergeant of the unit is exactly the same, apart from he has an additional attack, so he has 3 attacks, and he has an additional leadership, so he has +1 leadership. They are armed with splinter pods and a hellglaive. So splinter pods are free, I believe. We've checked that out already. And a hellglaive is also free. Yes. So 17 points. It's not bad. Yeah, not too bad. It's not too bad. 17 points. So what should we have? What can we have here? Right, the Heliarch can take a Phantasm Grenade Launcher. We already know what that does, we've covered it already. The Heliarch may replace his Hellglaive with one of the following weapons: a Splint Pistol and a Stun Claw. What is a Stun Claw? Stun Claw is 7 points. And a Stun Claw is range melee, type melee, +1 strength, 0 AP, 1 damage. Each time you roll a wound of 6 with this weapon, the target suffers a mortal wound in addition with any other damage. Not bad. Yeah, not bad. Splinter Pistol Power Sword or Splinter Pistol and Agonizer. So if your Agonizer is always a good shout. We've already discussed that Agonizer. It's only 4 points. I quite like it. But the Hellglaive, so this is what you're giving up. The Hellglaive is +1 strength, AP 0, but it does 2 damage. And having 2 attacks, well, the Heliarch has 3 attacks, doing 2 damage. If your opponent fails that armor save, it's doing 2 damage a time. It's not too bad. Abilities have Power from Pain, Combat Drugs. So obviously kitted out for combat. Combat Drugs, you can obviously choose your combat drug now. You could choose or roll. It's not, if you choose all of them, and that's it, you can't ever roll again. Or if you roll, you can never choose them. It specifically states in the rules you can choose and or roll. So if you choose all the good ones and you don't want any of the rubbish ones, you can just roll and hope you get something good. If not, you've got to stick with it. So power from cane, combat drugs, and they have hit and run ability. If this unit falls back, it can charge in the same turn. So that's pretty cool. So if you're in combat, if you're already locked in combat with an enemy, you can fall out of combat and charge to make sure that you know you're going first again. Or if there's a vital target around, or your opponent seems to think you're locked in combat with something and leaves something open that you can kill, that's quite, it's quite handy to be able to do that. I have only used Hellions in one game so far in 8th. They are a damn sight better compared to what they used to be in 7th. 17 points each isn't such a bad points cost. I think it's quite reasonable, if I'm honest. So 17 points each, yeah, I'd be quite happy with that, really. It's not bad. 2 attacks each, it's quite good. The Hellglaives, obviously, being +1 strength, so they're going to be strength 4 now. So, and then obviously you can choose your combat drugs. So Hellions, yeah, I do like Hellions. The models are the models are stunning. It's the models that really did get me into the Dark Eldar. The Hellions are one of those units that I had to have, even in the previous edition when they were rubbish, when they're absolute garbage. I had to have them because the models are just lovely. They are really nice. So I was a big fan of Spider-Man growing up as a kid. I used to watch all the cartoons on Fox Kids when I was a kid. I got a load of comics. I really like the Green Goblin, and these guys really do shine. I really do like the look of them. So Hellions for me, they're not a bad choice. I wouldn't say they're a great choice. So if people have used Hellions and they have had great success with them, comment and let other people know what you've done as well. So that's it for Hellions. I think that is it for fast attack. That is it for fast attack. So we're going to go into the flyers. Okay, the first flyer we come to is the Razorwing Jet Fighter. Now the Razorwing Jet Fighter is an almighty... Razorwing Jet Fighter is 115 points basic. That's without any weapons. So Razorwing Jet Fighter is movement star, weapon skill 6+, ballistic skill star, strength and toughness 6, 10 wounds, attack star, leadership 7, and a save of 4+. Wounds characteristic, because it's got 10 wounds, it has a damage chart. So 10 to 6 wounds, movement is 20 to 72, ballistic skill 3 + 3 attacks. Wounds 5 to 3 is movement 20 to 48, ballistic skill 4+, attacks D3. Runes 2 to 1 is movement 20 to 32, ballistic skill 5+, and 1 attack. I wouldn't worry about the attack characteristic for the flyer because you're almost never going to be in combat with it because it's always going to be flying away. And you're hitting on 6s anyway, so if someone said to me, oh, your Razorwing can attack me with your 3 attacks or your 1 attack, I would roll it, but I wouldn't have any hope for it. So Razorwing Jet Fighter is a single model equipped with 2 disintegrator cannons. This is going to be pricey. Disintegrator cannon is 30 points each and it is armed with 2, so that's 60 points. A twin splinter rifle. Twin splinter rifle is free, luckily. And Razorwing missiles is also free. Nice. So that's free there. So really only paying for the disintegrator cannon. So disintegrator cannon is, I think we've covered it already, but we'll quickly go over it again. It's range 36, assault 3, strength 5, AP -3, 2 damage. So your heavy infantry killer, light vehicle killer, I suppose, being strength 5. The Razorwing missiles. Now the Razorwing missiles, it's not. You remember how in 7th edition you only had so many missiles? Now it's unlimited. You can just choose a missile, which is always really, really nice. So there's 3 types of missiles here. We'll quickly go over each one. So starting from the top, Monocyth missile, range 48, assault D6, strength 6, AP 0, damage 2. Next is the Necrotoxin missile, which is range 48, assault 6. It has now been errated and FAQ'd. It is actually assault D6. I think it was actually a typo, to be honest. All the other missiles are D6. Missiles for other flyers are all D6. So I think that was literally a typo there. Anyone that didn't see that coming, you know, was probably a little bit short-sighted. Yeah, it was definitely going to come assault D6. Anyway, assault D6 now. Strength star, AP 0, damage 1. When you use this profile, the weapon wounds on a 2+ unless the target is a vehicle, in which is 6+. So things with ridiculously high toughnesses. Final one is my personal favourite, which is a Shatterfield missile, which is range 48, assault D6, strength 7, AP -1, damage 1. When you use this profile, you can reroll failed wound rolls with this weapon. The reason why I prefer to use this one is when I'm firing at vehicles, it does -1 AP, so you've got a better chance of that rocket actually punching through the armour. It is only -1, but it is the best. It's the only one that has a -1. It only does 1 damage, unfortunately, but with that -1 AP, it's got, like I say, it's got a better chance of penetrating through the armour. And you can reroll failed rolls to wound. So things that are toughness 8, you're going to be 5s to wound it. You can reroll it. It's a lot handy. I've got the highest strength for the missile as well. So the Shatterfield missile is actually my personal favourite. It's the one I use pretty much all the time. Then we have, what are the war gear options? War gear options. This model may replace its 2 disintegrator cannons for 2 dart lances, which is the choice I always go for. Dart lances, I'm not going to bother checking because I know dart lances is 20 points each. So it's a cheaper option. So 2 dart lances are 40 points, 2 disintegrator cannons are 60 points. It's a cheaper option. It's something that I prefer to do. I've already covered the dart lance, but very quickly going over it. Range 36, heavy 1, strength 8, -4 AP, D6 damage. Because it is mounted on a vehicle, it is changed to assault, not heavy. So you can move and fire at normal ballistic skill, which annoys a lot of people because my fly can shoot at its normal ballistic skill and all their heavy weapons can't. When my opponents query me about it, I always have a little smirk on my face, which I'm sure a lot of Dark Eldar players do because we're all evil and like it. So yeah, I always equip mine with dart lances because it is strength 8, -4 AP, D6 damage. If I knew I was going to play a Necron player, I would take disintegrator cannons because of the whole quantum shielding rubbish. I'm not going to bother going into that, but the disintegrator cannons is a good choice. I'm not going to rule it out altogether at all. Disintegrator cannon is a good choice. It's just very expensive. I do like dart lances for punching through heavy armour. So vehicles these days obviously have a lot of wounds. It does D6 damage. For me, I would always choose a dart lance over a disintegrator cannon, depending on the situation I was going. Also, in the war gear option, this model may replace its twin splinter cannon with a twin splinter rifle with a splinter cannon. Sorry, getting a bit tongue tied there. Splinter cannon, I believe, is 15 points. Splinter cannon, yeah, 15 points for a splinter cannon. Yeah, I'd do that. I'd do that. I quite like splinter cannon. Although looking at it here, this is a bit of an oversight really. I've not actually been paying much of attention to what I'm doing even. So splinter cannon, I'm going to quickly go over these two and quickly compare them. Talking out loud helps me think. So my mum always used to say that first sign of madness is speaking to yourself. Whether it counts, whether I'm speaking to a camera or not, I don't know. So anyway, splinter cannon is range 36, rapid fire 3, and wound everything on 4+ unless it's a vehicle, so it's 6s. AP is 0, and it does 1 point of damage. Twin Splinter Rifle is range 24, rapid fire 2. So the Splinter Cannon is rapid fire 3, this is rapid fire 2. Exactly the same principle, wounds everything on 4s. It does 0 AP, 1 damage. So if you're within half range, so if you're within 18 inches, you're going to get 6 shots. If you're within 12 inches, you're going to get 4 shots. But you're saving 15 points. So I actually think this twin splinter rifle, which is free, I actually think that might be a better option because you're saving yourself 15 points. You're losing 2 shots, but does 15 points really justify 2 shots? No, for me, I don't think it does. I don't think it's very doesn't optimize the flyer at all. So that's something that I will look at. I will probably be dropping the splinter cannons from my Razor Wings and just keeping their twin splinter rifles. Anyway, abilities. So like most flyers, supersonic. Each time this model moves, first pivot it on the spot up to 90 degrees. This does not contribute to how far the model moves. And then move the model straight forward. Note that it cannot pivot again after the initial pivot. When this model advances, increase its move characteristic by 20 until the end of the phase. Do not roll a dice. So just like previous edition, you electing to move it, pivot it up to 90 degrees. Either way, move it to whatever your movement characteristic is. Minimum is 20 for this. That is probably the main range you will be using, is 20 inches, just a minimum move so you can shoot your Dart Lancers out of its backside. Other abilities, it has Night Shield. This model has a 5+ invulnerable save against ranged weapons. Always has a 5+ invulnerable save, which is really, really good. People think, oh, it's only a 5+, but it's, you know, it's saved my ass loads of times. Something to remember, that pretty much all Dark Eldar vehicles have a 5+ invulnerable save against ranged weapons. Like all flyers, it is hard to hit, so your opponent must subtract 1 from hit rolls against when they target this model in the shooting phase. Because it's a flyer, it's flying around it, God knows what speed. Of course, it's going to be slightly harder to hit. Airborne. This model cannot charge. Oh, that's a shame. Can only be charged by units that have the fly ability, and can only attack or be attacked in the fight phase by units that have the fly ability. So it can never charge, but it can be charged only by units that have got the fly ability. So that's why it's got its rubbish attacks, its rubbish weapon skill, just because it can somehow fight things off when it's flying around the sky at very, very breakneck fast speeds. Crash and burn, like all vehicles, if it's reduced to 0 wounds, roll a d6. On a 6 it crashes and burns in a fiery explosion. Everything within 6 inches takes d3 mortal wounds. So, Razor Wing jet fighters. My experience with using them is they are good. They were okay in the previous edition. They're pretty good now. They're all right. -1 to hit, 5+ invulnerable save, a massive array of weapons, relatively cheap as well. So they were 115 points plus 40 points for the twin Dark Lancers. So there's 155 points for the flyer. I actually think it is slightly cheaper than it previously was, or if not, literally slightly more expensive. I will be using one in most games. With the I say formations, the detachments, I think they're called now. You can take a detachment of 3 flyers to get 1 extra command point. That's quite a viable option for Dark Eldar, really, I believe, because it's quite a cheap flyer with a massive array of weapons. So yeah, I like the Razor Wing jet fighter. I liked it in the previous edition. I liked it in this edition. So that's my opinion on the Razor Wing jet fighter. Finally, for the flyers, we're going to go on to the Void Raven bomber. Okay, so the Void Raven bomber is basically the upgraded version of the Razor Wing jet fighter, so it's obviously going to be more expensive. Void Raven is 169 points. Ooh, a lot more expensive compared to the Razor Wing jet fighter. So what do we get for that? Movement star, weapon skill 6+, ballistic skill star, strength and toughness 6, 12 wounds, Attack star, leadership 7 with a 4+ save. Compared to the Razorwing jet fighter, it has 2 extra wounds, so it's slightly more survivable with 2 extra wounds. Okay, so if you're 12 to 7 wounds, your movement is 20 inches to 60 inches, ballistic skill 3, attacks 3. If your wounds are 6 to 4, you are movement 20 inches to 40 inches, ballistic skill 4+ with D3 attacks. And remaining wounds of 3 to 1 wound, your movement is 20 inches to 25 inches, ballistic skill 5+ with 1 attack. So a Void Raven is a single model equipped with 2 Void Lances. Oh, I hope these are free because you're already paying quite a bit. Void Lances are free, 0 points. Very good. So, Void Lance is range 36 inches. It is assault 1, strength 9, AP -4, d6 damage. So it's exactly the same as a Dark Lance, apart from it is strength 9. That's quite nice. Most heavy vehicles are toughness 8. So being strength 9 means you're going to be winning them on 3s. Yeah, that's quite nice. I quite like that. War gear options. This model may replace its 2 Void Lances with 2 Dark Scythes. So what is a dark? How many points is a Dark Scythe? Dark Scythe is free. If you want to upgrade it, it's a free upgrade. So what does a Dark Scythe do? A Dark Scythe is range 24 inches, assault D3, strength 8, -4 AP, does D3 damage. So it is exactly the same as a Dark Lance, strength wise and AP wise, but it only does D3 damage, not D6. But it has assault D3, so because you've got 2, because you have 2 Dark Scythes, that's 2 D3 shots. It's not bad. The D3 damage is slightly problematic. Whether you think you will get the same amount of damage with the Lances, I don't know. Obviously, Void Lances are assault 1, so you've got 2, so that 2 shots needing 3s. Mostly going to be needing 3s to wound, does D6 damage. But the Dark Scythe is 2 D3 shots needing 3s, and then 4s to wound against heavy vehicles, doing D3 damage. Food for thought, that one. If people watching this video have used a Void Raven, which loadout have you gone for and why? For me, they're both actually very good choices. I personally wouldn't know which one to take over the other. Yeah, the Void Lance is nice because it's strength 9 and does d6 damage. So depending on what people have used, comment, let us know. I've not used a Void Raven yet. I've used a Razorwing jet fighter. I will be using a Void Raven at some point. Okay, so this model may take a Void Raven missile. Ooh. Void Raven missile is 25 points. Oh no! So we're 169 points. So call it 170 for pity's sake. Plus 25 points. So that's what 75, 85, 90. So 195 points. Very nearly 200 points now for the flyer. For the Void Raven missiles. So there's only 2 profiles here for the Void Raven missiles. So the Void Raven missiles, Implosion missile is range 48, assault D3, strength 6, -3 AP, 1 damage. And the Shatterfield missile is range 48, assault D6, strength 7, -1 AP, 1 damage. You can reroll failed rolls to wound. So the Shatterfield missile is exactly the same as the Razorwing missile, but you have the Implosion missile, which is more AP, well, better AP but less strength. What is that? Where is 25 points? Is a lot of points compared to the Razorwing one, which is free, obviously. See, I don't know whether that's worth it or not. Possibly. Well, we'll go into the ability to see what happens. Crash and burn is exactly the same as the Razor Wing one, Razor Wing option here. Hard to hit, -1 to hit from shooting, exactly the same. Airborne, assault and flying is exactly the same. Night shields, 5+ invulnerable save against shooting, which is the same. Supersonic, which is exactly the same. So all of these rules are the same. The only thing that's extra here is the mine. Void mine. So a void mine. Once per battle, a void raven can drop a void mine on an enemy unit it moves over in one of its movement phases. After the void raven has moved, pick one enemy unit that it has flown over. Then roll 3d6 for an enemy vehicle or monster in the unit, or 1d6 for every model in the unit up to a maximum of 10. For each roll of 3+, the unit being bombed suffers a mortal wound. Well, okay. So if you fly over a 20-man orc squad, you roll 10 dice, and on a 3+, that unit suffers a mortal wound. So average on 10 dice, needing 3s will be what, 6 or 7. So that's be 6 or 7 mortal wounds straight away. Or a vehicle or a monster is you roll 3d6 for the vehicle. So one vehicle, you roll one. Sorry, if you fly over one vehicle, you roll 3d6, and then any 3s it takes a mortal wound. So whether it's worth bombing a vehicle or monstrous creature, probably not. I think it'd be better off flying over an infantry unit, something like Terminators or some form of like heavy infantry unit. I think it'd be a lot more beneficial to fly over them and drop it. So it's target priority, really. That's what you look. That's the word I'm looking for. Is it really worth flying over a monolith, dropping a bomb? No, because you might cause 3 mortal wounds, but that's nothing. Is it worth flying over a unit of Lich Guard dropping a bomb? Yes, because if there's 10 there, you can cause, if you're really lucky, you could cause 10 mortal wounds. So yeah, target priority I think is the main thing for the bomb. And I do believe that is it. So we have now. Oh no, what's this at the end? It's not it. We've just spotted another one. Scourge. How could I forget? So Scourge, points wise, Scourge are 14 points each. Unit size is 5 to 10. No, that's not the time, 5 to 10. It's 5 models to 10 models. Anyway. Okay, so Scourge are movement 14, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, strength and toughness 3, 1 wound, 1 attack, leadership 7 with a 4+ save. The sergeant of the squad, Solarite, is exactly the same, apart from it's got +1 attack and +1 leadership. So, each model is armed with a Shredder Carbine. Shredder Carbine, 0 points. And Dark Light Grenades. Dark Light Grenade, 0 points. Cool. Shredder Carbine is range 18, assault 3, poison, so poison 4+, 6s against vehicles, AP 0, 1 damage. And Dark Light Grenade is 6-inch range, grenade D6, strength 4, -1 AP, 1 damage. Very good. War gear. So war gear at the bottom here. Up to 4 Scourge may replace their Shard Carbine with either a Splinter Cannon, Dark Lance, Heat Lance, Shredder, Haywire Blaster, or Blaster. That's a lot of special weapons. So there's 4 Scourge. So for me, the optimum unit is 5. Then you take 4 of those special weapons. We've done. Let's quickly go through them again. We've done Splinter Cannon. We've done Dark Lance. We've done Heat Lance. We've done Shredder. Haywire Blaster we haven't done. Haywire Blaster. is a range weapon. Haywire Blaster is 12 points. Now, Dark Eldar players know that you always went Haywire Blaster with Scourge. Previous edition, that was the option that you'd take. You'd always take Haywire. So, how much has it changed? Haywire Blaster, range 24 inches, assault 1, strength 4, minus 1 AP, 1 damage. Okay, so the abilities. If the target is a vehicle and you roll a wound roll of a 4+ for this weapon, the target suffers a mortal wound in addition to any other damage. If the wound roll is a 6+, inflict D3 mortal wounds instead of 1. Okay. Now the downside to that is it is in addition to any other wounds. So if somebody could answer the question is, do you actually have to physically cause a wound for these mortal wounds to take effect? So rolling to wound is fine, but does the model have to fail its armor save for it to have caused? Well, I suppose it will. Yeah, as words written, I've just answered my own question there. 4+. In addition to any other damage, so you must physically damage it for it to take the mortal wound, and it is only strength 4, minus 1 AP. So anything that's under toughness 8, you're 5s to wound, and it's got to fail its armor save. Against a monolith, against a land raider, you're going to be 6s to wound, and it's going to get 3+ armor save. Yeah, I'm not so keen on Haywire Blasters these days. I would probably go for the Dark Lance. So also we've got the Solar Arc may replace a Shard Carbine with either a Splinter Pistol or a Blast Pistol. Probably not, because Blast Pistol's got a short range. The Solar Arc may replace a Shard Carbine with a Venom Blade, Power Lance or Agonizer. So Venom Blade, quickly go on to it here. Venom Blade is 5 points, and what was the other one? Power Lance. Power Lance is 4 points. So Venom Blade 5, Power Lance 4. Venom Blade wounds everything on a 2+ unless it's a vehicle, which wounds on 6, 0 AP, 1 damage. And the Power Lance is +2 strength, minus 1 AP, 1 damage. I probably wouldn't say it was worth it. Just keep him with his little poison rifle, and let the other guys kit out with Dark Lancers. Abilities: they have Power from Pain, Ghost Plate Armor, which gives them a 6+ invulnerable save, which they always had, and Wing Strike. Basically they have Deep Strike, so set up anywhere within 9 inches you can choose a turn they come down on. If you're going to start them on the board, give them Dark Lances. If you're going to Deep Strike them, you could Deep Strike them with Dark Lances, but they're going to be -1 to hit because it's classed as moving, because the Dark Lance is heavy. So you could always start them on the board in cover, and it's basically a Marine Devastator squad. So I've not used Scourge yet, but I imagine they're just as good as they were, if not better, because that's 4 Dark Lances you can have flying around the board. 4s to hit because obviously you're going to be moving, but still it's going to be 4 Dark Lances you've got. So that is it for my fast attack choices. The final video will be heavy support, and I will quickly go over as well my final thoughts and views on the Index Xenos 1 in the Dark Eldar. So thanks for watching, guys. Please like and comment, so I know what you guys think of it. See what you've used as well in your armies. So I'll speak to you guys next time. Toodaloo.